Hello everyone. Today I am here with the first video on Unit 2 of Class 11th Biotechnology, that is the biomolecules, molecules of life. We know that biochemistry aims to explain biological form and function to chemical terms, and one of the most fruitful approaches to understanding biological phenomena has been to purify an individual chemical component such as protein from a living organism and to characterize its chemical structure or catalytic activity. So let's see what we are going to study in this video. So first of all, we are going to have an overview. Biomolecules. So what are biomolecules? These are the molecules which are found in living organisms and represent a group with a large variety in size, structure, class and biological functions. The molecules or the biomolecules which have molecular size less than 1000 Daltons represent the acid soluble pool, while those having a molecular size greater than 10,000 Daltons, less than 10,000 Daltons are called macromolecules. So this is the differentiation on the basis of the molecular size. There are four classes of macromolecules: polysaccharides, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. So in chapter 1 of this unit, we shall learn about small molecules which represent several classes such as amino acids, monosaccharides, nucleotides, vitamins and coenzymes. Each of these classes is represented by several members where each member has a different structure. The small molecules serve as building blocks of macromolecules. For example, amino acids are assembled into proteins. All the biomolecules are in a state of flux. That means they are constantly undergoing chemical transformation. The micromolecules are combining to form macromolecules, whereas the macromolecules are dissociating to form smaller biomolecules. So these all activities are going inside a cell in the form of metabolism. In chapter 2, we shall learn about the macromolecules like proteins with a spatial focus on enzymes which mediate cellular functions, nucleic acids which serve as genetic material, sugar and fats which serve as energy sources and as barriers. Biomolecules organize themselves into supramolecular assemblies which form cellular organelles like ribosome, plasma membrane and so on. Here you can see nucleotides are forming DNA and DNA are forming chromosomes. Likewise, amino acids are forming proteins which are found in the plasma membranes, and these are the sugars which are forming the cellulose fibrils and which are found in the cell wall of the proteins, and this is the cell. So before starting the study of biomolecules and their interactions, some basic questions deserve attention. What chemical elements are found in cells? What kinds of molecules are present in living matter? And in what proportions do they occur? How do they come to be there? And in what ways are the kinds of molecules found in living cells spatially suited to their roles? So let's explore further. Less than 100 years ago, it was believed that supernatural vitalistic forces existed in living cells. But was that true? Let's see. Based on painstaking work by organic chemists and biochemists over the past several decades, these vitalistic forces have been deconstructed to reveal simple chemical reactions which are orchestrated or which are taking place in a very precise time, so which we describe as life processes. These reactions are in turn possible because of the participant biomolecules, whose unique structures result in their unique functions. These biomolecules rarely work in isolation. In fact, they often interact with each other, forming large supramolecular assemblages such as biomembranes, chromosomes, ribosomes, and other organelles, which in turn carry out unique functions. So, it is essential to understand the working of biomolecules in both health and disease, because a biotechnologist can then devise methods to manipulate cells and their constituents for human welfare. If we talk about constituents, then only about 30 of the more than 90 naturally occurring chemical elements are essential to living organisms. The four most abundant elements in living organisms in the term of percentage of the total number of atoms are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and carbon, which together make up over 99% of the mass of most cells. These are the lighter elements which are capable of forming 1, 2, 3 and 4 bonds respectively. And in general, lighter elements form the strongest bonds. Of greatest significance in biology is the ability of carbon atoms to share electron pairs with each other to form very stable carbon-carbon single bonds. Here is the periodic table where you can see the bulk elements which are required by the living organisms in the quantities of few grams per day, that is hydrogen, sodium, potassium, calcium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. Whereas the elements which are shaded yellow, these are the trace elements which are required in few milligrams per day by for the normal health of the animal life. For microorganisms and plants, these are also somewhat similar. Now we are coming to the biomolecules as the compounds of carbon. Carbon accounts for more than one-half dry weight of cells. Covalently linked carbon atoms can form linear chains, branched chains and cyclic and cage-like structures. To these carbon skeletons are added groups of other atoms which are called functional groups. They confer specific chemical properties on the molecule. So molecules containing covalently bonded carbon backbones are called organic compounds, and most biomolecules are organic compounds. So most biomolecules can be regarded as derivatives of hydrocarbons. The backbones of hydrocarbons are very stable. The hydrogen atoms may be replaced by a variety of functional groups to yield different families of organic compounds. Here you can see a hydroxyl group, that is the alcohol, carbonyl or ketone group, carbonyl, another carbonyl, that is the aldehyde group, and amino group, sulfhydryl group. Likewise, the chemical reactivity of the biomolecules is due to the presence of various functional groups. As the backbone is very stable, so the reactivity of the biomolecules can be attributed to the functional groups attached to them. Another very important feature of biomolecules are that the most biomolecules are asymmetric. The tetrahedral arrangement of single bonds around a carbon atom confers on some organic compounds a property of great importance in biology. When four different atoms are attached or bonded to a carbon atom in an organic molecule, the carbon atom is said to be asymmetric. Like this. This is the symmetrical carbon atom where the two of the groups are looking similar and these two groups are looking similar, but in the asymmetric organic compound, the carbon is bonded to 4 different atoms or group of atoms. This molecule can exist in 2 different isomeric forms, that is stereoisomers. And enantiomers are the specific stereoisomers which are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. Here, this is the original molecule. This is the asymmetric carbon containing 4 different groups, and it is the mirror image of the original molecule. Here, if we rotate these 2 groups around the carbon atom, we find that these 2 are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. So these 2 are enantiomers of each other, and they are non-superimposable. So this kind of property, or this kind of arrangement, provides a special property to the biomolecules, which we will see later in the upcoming videos. So compounds with asymmetric carbon atoms can be regarded as occurring in left and right-handed forms, and are therefore called chiral compounds. In Greek, kairos means hand. And the asymmetric atom or center of chiral compounds is called the chiral atom or chiral center. So this is the chiral atom or chiral center. Now macromolecules and their monomeric subunits. A brief glimpse I am giving here, and we will deal one by one to all of these in the upcoming video. So for carbohydrate there is separate video, for nucleic acid there is a separate video, and for lipid there will be separate video, for proteins there will be a separate video. So here we can see the nucleic acids are polymers of nucleotides. So monomer of nucleic acids is nucleotide. The monomer for carbohydrate is monosaccharide. Carbohydrate is a macromolecule and the monomer is monosaccharide. Lipid is also a macromolecule, but it is not, we do not consider it as a polymer, but rather it has subunits like long chain fatty acids with the alcohol like glycerol. Proteins are polymers which are formed by the polymerization of simple monomers, that is amino acids. So with this I am done with my video. Hope you all have enjoyed the video and learned something about biomolecules. In the next upcoming videos we will deal with the carbohydrates or the monomer of carbohydrates, that is the simple sugars or monosaccharides. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share and do subscribe. Till then, goodbye.